Okay, so today I'll be playing Elder Scrolls Online for the first time ever, and the first thing I'll say is it's a huge ass fucking file size. It was like 140 gigs or something just for the base thing, and then it obviously has that trope of like, I wait for like 40 minutes before I start the stream to try to download it, and then as soon as I start, I'm like, okay, I'll just launch and play, but then it makes you download like another fucking 20 to 40 gigs once you actually launch it. I hate when games do that. NBA 2K would always do that. I would start the stream playing that, and then like I left it downloading overnight because it's such a big file size, and then you go in the game and you have to update for like another 100 gigs or some crazy amount. So let's see. I wait on this screen sometimes in games or whatever, the first screen you see, because you never know. Some games will start with a cutscene or some big thing, and I don't want that to happen, or at least the audio is playing here. So what else is there to say about this? Like, I held off for so long for the same reason that like last week I did Elder Scrolls Legends for the first time, the card game, and I held off on that too because as much as I love card games and as much as I like the series, because I try to avoid games like that could spoil stuff. Because like I'm a big fan of the Elder Scrolls series. I played Morrowind a little bit. I played Oblivion a lot. I played Skyrim over 1,000 hours. But I kind of take my time with those games. So I don't try to just beat them and get through it. So there's still a lot of elements of the story that I wouldn't want it to give away. Right, so this is just the base version of the game I bought a couple years ago. It's been sitting on my Steam. I've never even opened it. The business model for this game is not super well known to me. Like, it's not a free-to-play MMO. You have to buy the base game, which I can't remember what I paid for. I think it's like maybe $20 now, but it was probably more back then. And then not only is it... So it's not free to play. You probably have to buy the expansions, which I obviously don't have any of those, and it shouldn't matter. Although, given the file size, you would almost think that it can't be 140 just for the base game. Then imagine with all the expansions what it would be. It's like the one game that you're allowed to have on your PC, because after fucking 5 expansions, it'll be like a terabyte. But either way, you probably have to buy those. I don't know if there's a sub fee for certain features they have to pay on top of that. They just combine all the business models. You have to buy the base game, then you have to pay a sub fee for certain things, then you have to buy the expansions. Then there's also microtransactions in there too. That always rubbed me the wrong way when WoW did it. Like, you know, it was always a sub fee MMO. You pay $15 a month and you have to buy the base game / the expansions. But then they added microtransactions into it as well, like all these pets and mounts and stuff. But then they still kept the sub fee. At least you should get rid of that and transition to free to play, but they didn't. I have a fun idea for you. You go to work, have a great day. On your way home, you drive past the pet store, buy a cat, then travel over to the west or travel over to Walmart. But dinner along with some Milo. Buy dinner along with some Milo, which is like a chocolate drink. You see a flyer for a basketball team, and you sign up. You get home, cook dinner, and have a Milo with your new cat, watching a show of your choice. Very interesting idea. Okay, so what else did I want to say? Like, so it's not a free-to-play game. It is one of those games that maybe would be better to play on console, right? Because this whole series and whatever, it's like a console MMO, because you'll have your 2 hands for the 2 triggers, and it won't have like 100 keybinds, I guess. So yeah, in that sense, you could almost mock it that way. When one of the great majesties of MMOs was PlayStation over Xbox. One of the great majesties of MMOs was seeing all those 100 hot bars, or like they have that Path of Exile moment, right? Where, oh, you're so stunned by all the big skill tree. But in the context of, I guess I can swear as much as I want on this one, because normally I try to keep it middle of the road. I never used to that much, but this is like considered a mature game. So it like auto does that when you choose the category. Like what games have had that mature tag since they added that feature automatically? Frostpunk, apparently. This game and like one other one, which I wouldn't have thought. You know, the first game being Frostpunk is like a survival game. Like, sure, it has some mature stuff in there, but that's surprising. There will be first playthrough, it will be permadeath, like I normally do, or at least like, you know, every character is permadeath. So it's not that I can't restart if I die, but every class basically gets its own thing. Or sometimes I do that even with the race. Have fun at work, I guess. Not really the sort of thing you try to do. So it doesn't play music in the background, though, if I tab out, so I guess you can tell this. What else did I want to say? I guess the thing with my whole lore reservation was the fact that it's sort of... MMOs in general sort of bastardize the lore sometimes of certain series. And the reason why is because it's like... the priority becomes more content over over respecting the lore or making sense or staying within the bounds of it. So, for example, with Warcraft, they added like the Mist of Pandaria, which totally shat all over the lore. Like, oh, there's this whole continent that we didn't know about, and it was like to do with pandas and all this kind of dumb stuff. And the reason why that's so stupid is because there's nothing to suggest that. And not only is that them, okay, on one hand, it's cynical, like, oh, they're trying to appeal to the Asian market. And on the other hand, they're trying to save their best ideas for later, right? Oh, we have all this good lore still left that we haven't used, but we'll save that for the next expansion and the next expansion if they want to keep churning out more and more shit. So it sort of bastardizes the whole universe. And so you're not only retconning, you're not only holding ideas back, and then of course overly defensive fanboys will just eat everything right up. So that always used to trigger me. So in that sense, that's what this probably has done to the Elder Scrolls series already, is like, now when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, there's all these different considerations for the lore, where the single player games, it's like, okay, it's fresh, it's a one-off thing, and then you move on. But here, it's like there's probably so much bloated lore in here that some of it might trickle down to there. It might have an impact on how people perceive the other stuff. Is it not lonely not talking to anyone? I mean, sometimes you do in a sense, but it's not like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, like when the need arises. But no, that's not really why. I don't really care about that. For work is work. Like you see that even with Star Wars, right? Like you have all these TV shows, all these 10, 12 movies. Clearly the priority is just to churn out more content and make more money and to milk it as much as they can. And so it's retcon on top of retcon. They don't care about the lore. They'll just trample over it, do whatever they have to do to... And so it diminishes even the old stuff, because it'll be like, wow, it was supposed to be such a big conflict and the end of the world, but now you have like a million different conflicts over time, just to make part 10, part 11. It becomes so exploitative, but yet people still eat it up. Or yeah, speaking of like the saving the best ideas, like Avatar 2, the idea that they probably had, Avatar 2 is like the safest screenplay ever written. They just rehashed the first movie exactly the same, because they assumed people were going to watch it, so they didn't feel, because the first movie was such a sensation, and because the first movie was so successful, they have part 3, 4, and 5. The studio already agreed to make them before they even made part 2. So what that means is they probably had better, more original ideas for part 2, but they're like, fuck it, everybody's going to watch that anyway because of the success of the first movie, so then we'll save it for part 3, 4, and 5, right? So they're holding best. Yeah, it wasn't, at least the script wasn't good. It was played it very safe. They just rehashed the first movie. And so there's all these incentives with sequels that they come into play. So I always say that with MMOs, just the simple fact that they sort of trample over the lore, and they do it in such a way that it almost ruins the series in a way going forward, right? Because it will affect, whether you think it or not, it will affect Elder Scrolls 6 somehow. And everything is like, I don't know, like it can't just stay the same, and they always have to come up with some new bullshit that didn't exist in the universe just because they have to keep pushing it forward beyond whatever original intention there was. Like series will even tell you that. I think Nintendo told you that, like, oh, we never had a timeline in mind for the Zelda series because we didn't know it was going to be this successful. We didn't know it was going to go on for this long. So sometimes people are just bullshitting their way through it, Adjust brightness. Middle logo should be barely visible. It is. NAEU, not shared across. What about other servers beyond that? Or why would it even give me the EU option if it can tell that I'm... What, is it not playable in any other part of the world? That seems weird. Like, of course, the Elder Scrolls series is the one crowning, like, Western RPG series that's, like, compared to so many others that are not. Internal error, okay. I don't really have an account for it, but you would think it would be like through Steam, so it shouldn't matter. Are you serious? This is gonna be like this is gonna be like a Destiny thing all over again. Troubleshooting stream. I guess I will have to look at that. I wish it played the music actually in the background. That way, like if I'm tabbing out looking at something, that would be good. Intro music, sound. At least it didn't show me or here we go, plays in background. It didn't show me like a cutscene or something right away. Ultra settings, everything should be fine. I just leave it on default, don't really care. Alt back. Yeah, it would be very configured for console considerations. Let's see what we have here. I fucking lost where my art even is. Here it is. Okay, so it says maybe try to do the other server, which would be strange. Imagine if they're doing like maintenance or something, but why would they do it like right now? Help Elder Scrolls Online, like, I guess I could play it like not through Steam, or like how would I make an account or whatever outside of this? I guess I should try and do that. I was just trying it because it said maybe, you know, maybe that'll work, or test if one is down or something. Okay, all I had to do is relaunch it, and maybe it's the fact that I closed out the launcher, but you would think that shouldn't matter if the game itself is open. I'm new to Elder Scrolls Online. I'm something of an MMO aficionado though. My name is never taken, not to jinx it, but like, you know, once you become a bigger streamer, obviously it would be. Like, yeah, try getting your name as XQC or somebody like that. Although, yeah, that's just the ID though, I guess. So, not if it's 40 Australian dollars. Not if what is 40 Australian dollars. Let's see. I'm over the age of 13. What? It wouldn't allow you to play, or would it put you on a special? That's one thing I've never seen. Like, put like age moderated servers. Like, oh, if you say you're 13, it'll put you on some special RP thing that you can't kill people or something. You may not log in. Soon you'll receive an email. I don't want to do that right now, dude. You have 3. Yeah. Just let me play the game. Are you fucking kidding me? Why is everything like this all of a sudden, dude? This is like a very natural... Okay, now it works. What the fuck is going on?
The storm is coming. The Imperial throne lies empty. The scent of war swirls in the air.
I wonder if this is the original cinematic or some expansion, though. That's the thing.
Evil awakens. A long-vanished foe stirs. Those who would destroy Tamriel seek out dangers to their dark plot.
I guess I don't have the expansion, so it would have to be the original.
582nd year of the Second Era. The drums of war are sounding. This is where our journey begins.
So as a contrast to how I normally play these MMOs, where I do read the quest text and I try to play very story immersive wise, here I'll actually try to avoid the story because whatever, in case it might spoil something, or again, it'll just feel like its own universe. Like, how much of this stuff is really authentic to the universe? Probably some of it. Or people even say that about Final Fantasy Online, like, I didn't know that going in, so I avoided playing that for the same reason too. I don't want it to spoil stuff about the Final Fantasy series because I haven't played all the games in it, but people even said, oh, it's just window dressing. Like, it's not really faithful to the lore much at all. It just happens to have chocobos and stuff, right? But it really is just like a generic online fantasy thing. Not even saying that makes it bad, but it just used it in name only. But I feel like this is probably a little more faithful to it. Discover Necrom. Okay, so this would be the newest expansion, but again, I haven't played any of the other expansions, so how would I know? You know, like, why would I care? What truths are best left hidden? Discover Necrom, Forbidden Darkness. Like, what this does is it sort of... I don't know how to explain it. It'll keep making references to stuff that I don't want to see, basically. Not in terms of the expansion, but in terms of, like, other aspects of the lore. Okay, select country... United States, novice gear, champion gear, no gear. So the graphics are pretty decent. Let's see. So I don't know how long. When did this actually come out? I should look up. Compared to like Elder Scrolls Online release date, 2014. So it's been out for almost 9 years, and so it probably, you know, unrecognizable from its original state to make him look weird. But lately, I've been playing female characters a lot. I don't know why exactly. Just maybe for the novelty of it. But like with certain classes, it kind of fits. Like if you're a mage or something. Not that, you know, stereotyping, but race, class, body, face. Let's see what all these are. Daggerfall Covenant, Almeri Dominion, the Ebonheart Pact. What would be the... Oh, so anybody can just be part of any pact, though? That seems kind of a little bit... There should always be some exceptions. Or no, maybe, oh, no. Okay, each row is like its own thing. Okay. The Daggerfall Covenant, I mean, the Aldmeri Dominion is like the fucking whole empire that controls everything, though, for a big part of the series. So, Bretons have to do with magic. Like, I won't even read all this shit for once. I'll just do it. Let's pick the most cliche thing that I would do. Like, you know, just like a mage, because I'm so, you know, I've been avoiding doing that sometimes because, oh, I always play mages, but this time I won't. Let's just do a... Bretons are good at magic. Reflect their affinity for arcane, increasing their base magic and magic recovery, light armor, alliance point, spell resistance, cost reduction. Yeah, let's go with the one that looks a little bit novel. But of course, if this is like an Elder Scrolls game, your class would be very dynamic. Like, you can just kind of change it as you go along. Let's do name cannot be too short. I love how Albion Online totally fucked me over with the names. Like, you know, every RP old school name that I would use, which I had so many of, so many unique ones, it always was taken.
Thank the stars.
I wonder how the controls... Yeah, I'm not addicted to the Elder Scrolls series. I only play Skyrim once a year. Also, the rest of the year, last week I played Legends. This week I play this. Like, I could find a way to I could still play Oblivion. I could still play something else. I set a rule for that because of how much I liked it. So it will be permanent, though, just to not dick around too much and get myself killed. E, to interact with objects and people in the world. Or like I made that joke with chess. Like, I'm not obsessed with chess. I only play it twice a week. Also, the rest of the week, I play Roblox chess, or I played Nintendo Clubhouse chess. Like, whenever I would play some other game, I would find a way to play it inside of it. Neverwinter Nights and stuff. Let's see if there's anything to... Will it let me pick up any random thing I see in the world? You would think this would be a very good... solo type of MMO, though, because you would think it'd be trying to appeal to that, but then again, it always forces you to play multiplayer stuff somehow.
There you are. On your feet. I know magical translocation can really upset the stomach. Just take a moment and get your bearings, all right?
So, obviously, it's going to be fully voice acted. And one of the things I always find so impressive about the Elder Scrolls series is the ability to, like, drop stuff on the ground, right? Like, I go back to WoW Classic, one of the best games ever, one of the best MMOs ever. But that's one thing WoW never really championed was, like, you pick up an object and you can drop it from your bag, but then you can see where you dropped it. Like, you drop, like, 100 books on the ground and you actually see them physically there. That's a very hard thing to do when you think about a game of the scale and the scope of Skyrim or whatever. And it doesn't serve any purpose for the game. Like, they didn't have to do that, and it wouldn't affect the gameplay at all, right? You never need to do that, but that's a very novel thing. You can kind of decorate your house. But see, even that you would expect, like, oh, there'll be, like, one little mantle you can put something on and see that. But the fact that you can drop it anywhere and just put shit on the ground is interesting. Can't really move this around too much. We get dialogue options already. Where am I? Goodbye. Or like, there's this trope that you always start in a prison, right? Oblivion, you start in a prison. Skyrim, you don't really start in a prison, but you're on the wagon about to be executed. Either that or you start on like a boat in a lot of these games.
The Isle of Bolfiera, home of Clan Berini. I apologize for the cramped accommodations. We pride ourselves on courtesy, but...
What? Why did it do that?
There you are. The Isle of Bolfiera, home of Clan Berini. I apologize for the cramped accommodations. We pride ourselves on courtesy, but circumstances here have taken a turn for the bizarre. I needed to make sure you weren't a danger to yourself or others.
Or imagine if I play this as slow paced as I play the actual games in the series, like super immersive, take my time, you know, just completionist, not trying to just beat the game or, you know, get through the story or anything like that. You're talking about somebody who didn't beat Skyrim or didn't make any attempt to really beat it in over 1,000 hours. Imagine what I would do with a game like this. Or that's how I am, I guess, with MMOs in general. Like 20 plus episodes of WoW Classic just to get to like level 20. Let me out.
You might not be so eager to escape once you hear what's going on. You arrive via a portal, along with a Daetric beast called Shayazel. It seized control of our golems and unleashed them on the island. If I free you, will you help me stop Shayazel?
Yeah, set me free and I'll help.
Wise choice. Just give me a moment. There. That should unlock the door.
The only
When
thing...
you're ready, follow me.
She knows what a completionist clown I am, that I'll go on a tangent for 40 minutes and hear a lot. This will be a short episode, and it won't be a very story-focused episode, because I don't really want to play, like, it almost suits me that I don't have that much time these days, because normally I do like a 4 or 5 hour session of a MMO that I'm playing for the first time, but I kind of don't want to do that with this. I'm sure it's good, and I'm sure I would love it, but it's just not something I really want to do, considering my unfinished business with the series, which probably would never end up happening. But basically, I don't know if I should play in first or third person either, but... Oh, it's actually like fades to black. It's actually shift to sprint. I'm used to alt, thinking of Skyrim. That's at least the base keybind. Inventory, I won't really worry about right now. First person, yeah, it is kind of a nice novelty. Most games, I would consider that like a hard mode to play, you know, an MMO, or like most things in first person is like going out of your way. If it's not like a first-person shooter, it feels almost inconvenient. But this series, man, so it makes the series seem very casualized in the sense that like you can play it in first person, and you can play it with like console controller, and it's like you may as well like click to move and stuff. It's like a dumbed down game, but not necessarily. Sword and shield take. Or yeah, like I'll pick up every little thing because I always get distracted by that. Give me like a staff. Where's the staff? Bow, daggers, great axe, sword and shield. I don't want any of that shit. I'm supposed to be the spellcaster. Oh yeah, here we go. Healing staff, fire staff. Aldmeri, Exiles, Inferno staff. You should theoretically be able to take maybe all of them, but maybe I won't. Right, like what would actually stop me from doing it? Restoration, yeah, it doesn't seem like I'm putting them back, so fuck it. I doubt I would really use any of this, but... Or that was like the really cool moment of infinite mana that I created on my Skyrim character. The whole run, like I'm a mage and I'm trying to only use spells, but then I eventually get a bow that has like magic drain on it, so like I can stay at a range, and whenever I run out of magic, go and spam all my magic, then get it back by hitting them with the bow a few times because it drains their mana, and then keep casting spells. So it's kind of a good way to make yourself really, I don't know, just have infinite mana and always be able to be blasting shit. Find a list of commands. They've been following for three days. Oh, he must have followed and unfollowed, I guess. Great axe. I don't know why I'm even doing this shit, but this is to show the dynamic nature of your character, because you're able to you know, basically do whatever you want, right? But none of that shit I should really use. All right, I'm gonna keep trying to use the Skyrim keybinds like tab to do that. 3 months? Oh, okay, I thought it said 3 days.
There you are, free as a spring cricket. I hope you intend to keep your word. We'll need each other out there, of that I'm certain. The name's Norianwe, by the way, of Clan Durini. Pleased to make your acquaintance. We're bound for a place called the Keywright Gallery. But first, I need to know you can defend yourself. Hurtling through the Orbis and falling flat on your ear left you a bit scattered. Find a weapon, and we'll work out the cobwebs. Fair? Of course. I can't promise total transparency, but I'll be as forthcoming as I can.
Or like my RP style of the games, like this would be every response I'm giving, I would add like some sort of flavor or personality to it that our character has. I don't think I have the energy to do that right now, but he's trying all these gambling commands. You mentioned the Keywright's like basically our initial thing is like, why do you have so much faith in us? Why are we the only one around? Why are you focusing on us so much? We're just some random dude in a cell, right? Like why are we the chosen one? What is so special about us? Why are you relying on us? It seems so deserted here. None of these work, yet they say they do. Yeah, I think the only ones that work are the ones that are there, like YouTube, Discord, chess, stuff like that. You mentioned a Keywright's Gallery. What is that place? You mentioned something about golems. What's going on here exactly? What are you doing? Yeah, that's kind of more suited. Like, what is your deal?
Nothing irresponsible, if that's what you're asking. I'm a member of Clan Durini's Intelligence Guild, the Cinderella. More scholar than spy, I assure you. I was conducting some research in the gallery, then pop! You and that monster arrived.
At watch time? Yeah, I tried to. I actually don't know how, because it doesn't do it naturally. I'd have to use like another extension, like through Steam Elements or something, because it Stream Elements. I mean, you and that monster arrived. Why were you studying this place? Or like, these games sometimes make it feel like everything revolves around you in the sense that, or MMOs are better about avoiding that, right? There's that classic quote to do with WoW, like, I used to feel like a nobody doing heroic things. Now I feel like a hero doing nothing. I don't know who exactly gets the credit for that line. Like when the expansions come out and you start to feel like, oh, everybody's walking around with Ashbringer and stuff.
The gallery's always been a place of special interest for the guild, but we never quite cracked how it worked. Despite the dangers, this is our greatest breakthrough to date. The guild master will be ecstatic, provided we get it under control.
Or yeah, like in Skyrim, the only guild quests I did... No, I guess I did the Companions and the College of Winterhold. That is kind of the cool thing about the Elder Scrolls series is like, normally what I would do, like in Dark Souls, I made like a one-stat only character or like character classes of my own, even though it doesn't have any. Or any game with character classes, you would get from 1 to max level with each one, right? So that would even be the permadeath condition here. Like if I die, I can play as a different class. But this game... the series doesn't really have classes because you can kind of make a hybrid and play as whatever you want in a way. So I don't know to what extent it's going to let you do that, but basically I would like play the game through with each class individually. Whereas in a game like Skyrim, you wouldn't have to do that because you can kind of get every, just keep playing the same character forever. And eventually you'll get all your skills maxed out in your every class in one, which can be both a strength and a weakness, but it is kind of cool. You said something about golems. It never feels grindy, I guess, is the benefit of that, right? Like you're not really playing to level up. Whatever happens, or whatever you're using is gonna upgrade anyway. You said something about golems. What's going on here? Okay, these are the same two that were already there.
Would it frustrate you to hear that I have no idea? We Dureni are cautious by nature, so the Isle of Bolfiera has many defenses. Magical stone guardians protect many of our sacred sites. But somehow, this Daedra found a way to turn them against us. Ugh, do I have to? If I recall my studies correctly, I'd say it's a harvester. A huge serpentine creature that feeds on souls and magicka. If it finds a way to consume the energies of the gallery, we will be in very serious trouble.
Or in Skyrim, you see very few of the Daedra, like... there'll be occasionally in like a shrine with like a few of them, but like you almost see none of them. Or maybe that just happens later. Like it unlocks the way the Oblivion Gates do or something like that later as a mechanic in the game. But I remember seeing very few of them and it was always memorable. And their voices are so badass. Like the one you summon with the Sanguine Rose and stuff.
The Keywright's gallery is an ancient substructure of Bolfiera Island, built long before my clan arrived.
Why is it called the Keywright's Gallery? Is this really a priority question right now, dude?
On account of all the doors. The gallery's full of ancient gates, each with some arcane connection to places in Tamriel and beyond. Once the gates came to life, rifts opened. You fell out of one of them. The Daedra, shy as El, emerged from another.
I wonder if this has to do with, like, this would be the intro you have, whatever, tutorial if you play as a Breton, but if you play as somebody else, or maybe it's by faction, or who knows.
I cast an incantation of the steed, snatched you up, and fled as fast as my feet would carry me. I heard the Daedra cursing, followed by some kind of explosion, but I didn't look back. I hope the gallery is still standing.
The interesting position that I was looking at, my eyes are up here, dude. It's because of my height or something. I'm like a gnome. Bretons are normally portrayed as pretty short, though, right? That is what I chose, right? I already forgot. Apparel, magic... Like, it already feels like the damage values are jacked out, though. Like, why is it 1,500 armor and 1,000? Shouldn't it start at a low amount? There's already some kind of power creep thing, probably, because the game's been out for so long. But this should be as authentic to the vanilla version as possible because I don't even have anything else. Or maybe I do, and I just don't know. Like, it maybe came in a bundle. I bought it, like, a couple years back, so... Dark Souls reference over here. What the fuck is this? Literally a guy in that exact armor sitting next to a bonfire. What is this? They copied Dark Souls. Yeah, it's going to take me some time to get used to the keybinds, or I guess I could change them. Even though they're more normal for what it's worth. Like, you know, shift is normally sprint and whatever. Sneaking in games like this is always weird. Like in an MMO, how are you going to sneak, really? Especially in like a PvP context. You can't really seem to do anything there anyway. Okay, let's just go through here. Oh yeah, it wants me to equip shit as well. I keep hitting tab. Let's just do the staff and only the staff. I wonder how much, you know, how quickly I'm going to run out of mana and shit. That's there.
One suits you. If you change your mind, feel free to take any other
Yeah, I just fucking snatched all of them anyway without you needing to even tell me. But that's sometimes what. Oh, so it does have in-game, obviously, current. So it probably doesn't have a subscription fee, I guess. It probably just has microtransactions, in-game currency, whatever. So you have your base auto attack. That's the one thing that's unique here, is auto attacks won't be auto, because that's the whole nature of. Or probably there is a way to do that too, but a lot of the gameplay will be about that and about even skill shots and aiming and stuff. Maybe because, obviously. You know, you would always do that in the series, like play it hands-on, which again, that can be both a positive and a negative. It feels more sort of tactile and hands-on, but it feels bad because like you could have like 100 different abilities that you're rotating between, so auto attacking is the least of your concern, or you know, it feels kind of banal to do. And so MMOs would always show off how many abilities you have and how many hotbars you have, which I'm sure this has the potential to do that too, but I'm not sure. It should really make it more about aiming and stuff. Like, everything has to be very precise and this and that. Everything's like a skill shot. Lockpick. Okay, see you later. What was I looking at here? But yeah, sometimes these games get bogged down by the amount of UI there is. Just like, there's so much shit on the screen. This isn't too bad, I guess, but I don't know what the max level is, or I don't know anything, basically. These black screens are making me nervous already. We saw 2 of them, and it's only like 2 screens into the game.
This is as good a place as any. Now, prepare yourself while I conjure up a dance partner.
Oh, you can kind of hold it down. So I wonder if that'll be like on a GCD type of thing. Just the idea that, you know,
Quickly now, strike the construct.
I'm doing it the whole time, dude.
Impressive.
He seems to have a ton of health, though. What is this, dude? Maybe you're not actually supposed to kill him. But basically, if you could do abilities while you're doing this, maybe there's certain instant ones for that purpose, but I don't know if this is supposed to be like the core point of the combat, which isn't really inauthentic to the series, but it feels maybe a little bit unusual for an MMO. I don't know if it does more if you actually hold it down like that. It hit her by accident and I just fucking die.
Well done. Now faster.
Why does it keep making me stop, though?
Brilliant. Now do it again.
What is this blue aura thing? Is that me like running out of mana, or
Yourself. Block it.
hold that to block incoming attacks? But how is he putting me in that? How is he putting me in that mode where I can't just kite him away by backpedaling?
Protect yourself. Use your heaviest
Oh,
attack.
this mechanic seems weird.
Oh, strength that.
I don't know if I like that.
Block the defense. Give it everything
Like, sure,
you
you
got.
should be able to do that, but it seems kind of contrived. Like,
Some foes will try to
it's like a scripted thing that he keeps getting into. He should have to like swing blindly at me here, like just now.
quickly break free.
Yeah, what are you breaking free from exactly? First of all, where even is he? Nice camera angle. Hold right click and hit that. Okay.
You're unstoppable.
Okay, this guy just has infinite goddamn health though. I'm actually playing a mage for once in one of these games. I almost always avoid that. Okay, do that, do that. He doesn't really do... I don't know how accurately this represents how stuff is actually going to behave, because this is meant to be like, oh, it's just training you, but...
Again, make ready. You're every bit the warrior I thought you'd be.
Do I actually kill it, or what's going on? Because he got a lot of health back, I guess, when I got stuck behind the tree there. Seems like I'm doing a very shit amount of damage.
Again. Now press your advantage with a heavy. That was quite a blow.
Heavy attack. I assume that's what it's going to be. This is like our first boss fight. He's already having bullet sponge issues here. Holy shit. Does this have like a limited number of charges? I have to recharge it with the soul gem. Mana doesn't really seem to be an issue, which it normally isn't with stuff like this, but
Enemy repairs an
like with the
attack.
staff,
Destroy.
but
Interrupting their attack will set them off balance. Good. Now destroy
I'm a
it.
mage and I'm still parrying stuff, which maybe makes sense because you are going to, you know,
Well done. Come speak with me for a moment.
you are going to be like 1v1ing stuff, but ideally you'd rather just kite stuff. You wouldn't really want to do that. Press C to access the character window. Press K to do the skills window. 5 gold for Forgotten Adventurers Grieves. We're really grieving over the loss of that guy.
With moves like that, the Daedra doesn't stand a chance. Yes, I'd say we're ready to set out.
Really? You mean the part where I fucking got stuck between the tree and let him full heal in the middle of combat? Where are we headed now? I'd like to practice combat again.
To reach the Keywright's gallery, we have to make it out of this ruin and across a wide field full of the golems I mentioned. With any luck, we'll be able to slip past them. But I'm not all that lucky, so I'm sorry in advance.
All right, head there next. What can we expect to encounter in the gallery?
Well, it begins with a door, the first of many. The only way to access the gallery is through a mysterious gateway. Once we pass through that initial door, we'll step into a huge vault. This is the part that worries me most.
We're just so inquisitive about all these mundane things. Why does it worry you?
Shiazel, the Daedric creature that's causing all this mischief, may have nested itself in there. So be prepared to fight.
It's a good thing we saved the trouble of having to go through them to get to him. Will dealing with him pacify the golems?
I can't say anything with certainty, but ridding the world of an otherworldly abomination can't hurt, right? Its influence might linger for a time, but the golems should return to normal before too long. Hopefully.
Let's go. I'd like to practice combat again. Stop trying to get me to do that. Your level 2 reward claim now. Okay, let's see how the skill trees and stuff work. 1 attribute point, 1 skill point. It's ironic because I always play MMOs like they're open world games anyway, so it's kind of like, you know, of course this will be more suited for that because you know what they're kind of trying to pay homage to. But yeah, like, why are you starting with these jacked out values though? You should be starting with like 10, 100, 20,000. Like, what is all of this? Claim. If attribute points to spend, okay, they're obviously going to go full magical, 1 stat only character. What else do I have? Next level. Why are we getting like random stuff like that? Next milestone, level 5. Attribute points to spend. Okay. I guess that's it. Like, what about the perk tree and stuff? I to open your inventory, character skills. Skill lines allow you to customize your combat style to fight the way you want. You can select abilities, learn more about them. Press plus to purchase an ability. Active abilities 1 through 5. Passive abilities are always active, granting you benefits all the time. Ultimate abilities. Yeah, you're using alts like we're fucking playing League of Legends or something. Unlocked at flame rank 12 requires 1 skill point. You kind of have to go in order, I guess, or just choose your talent tree, I guess. Magma armor, dragon leap, ardent flame. Or like, let's let the later one determine it. Activate an aura which flames fireball every 5 seconds, dealing 3,000. Draconic power inhale, channel draconic energy in the air around you, doing 1541 to all nearby enemies and healing you. Interesting that there's healing tied into this. Earthen heart, ash cloud, summon a scorching cloud, target for 15 seconds, reducing movement speed by 70. Why are these to do with healing? I guess I'll do this one just because it's not mentioning that in any, or at least in the last one. Ability has been added to your first slot of your hotbar. Press 1 to use the ability. Cast time instant, enemy, target, range 7 meters, 2295 magica. Lash at an enemy with flame. Yeah, we're already doing 4,000. Like, I don't know what's the deal with that. I highly doubt it started like that. End of your notifications is already spamming me with shit. Okay, let's see what we got. We got the thing. 1 is going to be, or I don't even see, like, where is your hotbar? If I just added the 1 ability, but how do you see it? Yeah, like, where is the 1 through 5 and everything? Maybe it wants to tutorialize it somehow first.
One of the stray golems. We might want to sneak past it.
No, don't sneak past it. Kill it, dude. What do you mean? And that's one thing that would never get sneak attacks is we have our own little pocket healer here to carry us. Oh, you can do like these little double tap dashes and stuff. It's pretty cool. Action combat MMO. And of course the spell casting in the series is always awesome because it's very hands-on and you have to actually dodge stuff and, you know, manually hit, which is all the more enjoyable in a multiplayer context, I'm sure. Unlock trivial. But no, I still don't see where I'm using my abilities at. What did we do to do that? It's on 1, but I don't even see where the 1 is. Like, what the fuck? I guess they haven't introduced mana even yet because I'm only using my staff that's not doing anything. Or not costing me anything. Armory, let's see how this mechanic works now. Wait. Oh, it's just gonna be the order thing, right? What? Maybe I'm not gonna have enough of these to actually do it. I actually forget how, but this is not how it works in the other games anyway. You got 2 of them down, but I don't know whether that's meant to... What the fuck? It even says it's trivial. I guess I won't have enough to do it. What if I exit and do it again? Okay, that's not right. That's right. That almost seemed right. No. Fuck. What? I don't even get it. Okay, they'll have to tutorialize that later. There's all these resources that you'll end up like picking up 1 million of them, right? Like lockpicks don't really weigh anything, so you'll just have like 1,000 of them on you at all times that you'll never end up using. Or I guess I could go for broke with this again. Just try to understand how it works exactly. You would think you're just trying to do it in a particular order, but it's not going to let me. Force lock 100%. Wait, what? You don't even have to do it. I guess I don't have to go in here right now. Yeah, those were always the abilities that were underutilized. Like, oh, healing hands. I even tried to make a character based around that. Like, I'm not allowed to attack stuff. I can only heal people, so I have to like heal my pets or heal my whatever. Heal like a companion along with me with healing hands. The thing that would ruin that sometimes, though, is the simple fact that this is going to be like the slowest, most unproductive thing ever, because I really don't want to make a ton of progress either. I'll just like do the tutorial, right? I'm not trying to rush it anyway, but no, it's like I would only be allowed to use healing hands and stuff like that and heal other people. The problem is the companions wouldn't die in a fixed sense. Like they would get down and then they would come back up. It would work better where if their health ran out, they would actually just die. So you would feel like, you know, you have a better incentive to keep them alive, and it feels more raw, like yourself. Right, if you fail to heal yourself, you don't just get down and get revived or something, obviously.
On our way. A word of warning, though. Some of the golems may wander the halls ahead. There shouldn't be many of them, but as my master used to say, prudence is victory's profit. Sorry, he was very keen on weird proverbs.
Like they're already trying to do an escort quest is the first thing. What a bad way to introduce the game. Even when you're not playing multiplayer, they'll force you to do something stupid like, you know, escort some clown AI around. Bear trap disarm. I almost didn't even see that. Or wait, you just respawned because I went through the thing. Okay, we do have that one ability, but I don't see like actually how to use it. Or again, I don't seem to have Magicka yet at all. You see, the core combat is actually pretty satisfying. Like auto attacking has never been this fun. It auto lets go at some point, but I don't know if that's the most efficient way if you just hold it down. And of course, your abilities will level up as you use them, which that's not really even how it would work, but whatever. At least your core. Oh, that's an interesting extrapolation, actually. They did it like your ability itself is leveling up, not just your like your destruction skill, even the specific ability. Isn't that kind of like what Path of Exile does, or maybe not? Even like your weapons will level up as you use them or something like that. Your gloves will level up the more that you are wearing them in combat, like all these little minute things. So I don't really have anything equipped, do I? Traveler's tunic, traveler's boots, traveler's trousers. What do we have? Homespun gloves. Bow, dagger, doesn't really matter. Gloves, pewter necklace, which is just for cosmetic, I guess. At this point, Forgotten Adventurer's Greaves. Equipping them will permanently bind it to your account. Yeah, like I'm really worried about that. Now I gotta auction it or something. 2117. Okay, that's just what I took off. Was there anywhere else I could go? I went through the other door, so... Equipping 3 pieces of light, medium, or heavy armor will unlock a skill line with new abilities. Yeah, you have these nice little double tap movements. Every game should have this, especially first-person shooters. Like, how good would that have been in the original BioShock? As much as I complain about, like, something's about to attack me, so I have to turn around and run away. Like, there's no evasive maneuver you can do. You can't roll, you can't slide, you can't do anything. It just feels kind of awkward sometimes. This could introduce professions right here, I guess. There's really nothing to fight here. I don't know if any of this would be worth taking. I'm gonna end up just weighing myself down. Homespun gloves, homespun hats. Like literally to have a compulsion to pick up every single thing that you see, ever. Shield, battle axe. Isn't a lot of this stuff the same that we've seen? I should really only prioritize taking what I'm gonna use though. Like, whatever, magic related stuff. Yeah, like what is even the point of this room? I guess just to get some other extra gear. There doesn't seem to be anything too valuable here. But that's always a cheese when a mage uses a shield on top of everything else. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. Let's see. What did we get? Maple Ice Staff. 1025 versus... Wait, why did that show me that... Where did my weapon go? Oh, it doesn't like replace right where you were looking. Restoration Staff, Inferno Staff, 1013. Fiery Magic Imbued, this is faded. Was far from extinguished, level 1. So does that mean like now I won't be able to use the one ability? Well, I don't think I was able to use that anyway for now, but that's just because maybe they haven't introduced it or something. It's weird that they would give it to you though and not let you use it though. What do we have? We have so much shit here. Like, are these better than what I have? 1053. The old Diablo problem, just the fact that... Wait. Oh, no, I keep expecting it to put the item that I'm unequipping right where the one that I have on is. Like, you know, 481. Increases item sell price by 285. Sell to a merchant for gold. Okay. Traveler's tunic. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to sort of introduce the ability and how you actually use it, but... Maybe not yet. You seem to have to do that twice sometimes to open a door.
Almost there. Let's hurry.
Jack, Cuirass, Jerkin, whatever. Hurrying is not going to be the specialty of anybody who plays this series, though, traditionally. I like how people would complain about that, too, like in Fallout, too. They'll say, oh, you know, there's too much stuff to pick up, but that's a good thing, not a bad thing. Oh, what would you rather just not have the option? Like, that's like saying, oh, there's too many channels on TV, or I prefer to watch TV over watching YouTube because YouTube gives you too many options. Like, options are ultimately a good thing, and then you can just choose to end up watching the same shit on YouTube that you would be forced to watch on TV because it happens to be on at that exact time. It's like a net positive problem.
Gallery should be east of here. Let's set out.
Like, look at this. Just the OCD compulsion to do this every single time you see something. Although I guess you can still be selective as to what you actually want to pick up, but it's kind of hard to do that at the beginning. How are you really going to know, right, what you want? Now, Jasmine. Clear water. Are you going to be able to spam potions and eat like 100 berries in the middle of combat to be able to... you know, heal as actions going on? That's always something I felt like they should have had a cooldown on. Like, you can use, you know, in an MMO that's more traditional, you'd have like a 2-minute cooldown on a potion or something like that, so you can't just spam it like that. You use that to change camera perspective. I think I'll stick to first person for now, though, just because it's very novel to the series, even though normally it would be kind of strange. Yeah, I'm not seeing where you can do one, and I don't think it has anything to do with, like, there should be friendly fire, too, so not only is it a skill shot, but you have to avoid hitting your allies and stuff, too. Yeah, the action on, or the magic on magic combat is pretty badass, for sure. We won't really see, like, that won't really be a bonus sneak thing at all. But since this is ice, it should be slowing him down, which I can't tell really whether it is or not. Already fighting a fucking saber cat, dude. Right click to block. I mean, that's not a mechanic I really want to use much or rely on, but I guess you don't have a choice because I don't like how it felt kind of scripted though in the other thing. Maybe that's just because it was like a tutorial thing, but like here, it should feel more dynamic. Like he just happened to be swinging and I happened to block. Don't give me like that blue outline. Yeah, I guess it is kind of more natural there. Or of course the hitboxes in Skyrim were never that great, especially for melee. Ardent Flame increased to level 3, and yet I don't appear to be using it, or maybe I'm misunderstanding exactly what it does. You can kite this guy around the pillar, or I guess he's already a magic user, and we're getting pocket healed even if I don't want to. That's kind of like a good skill shot ability you actually have to move out of. Kind of sad to see that Elder Scrolls Legends was not really too, you know, doing too well. It seems like they give up support for it very quickly. What you're trying to tell me is PvZ Heroes has a better, more active community than Elder Scrolls Legends, despite coming out before and, like, you know, being a fucking mobile only game that's based around a series that isn't as strong as the Elder Scrolls, obviously, and yet it manages to outperform that seemingly, right? Because that came out in 2016. Apparently Legends came out in 2018, I think, which doesn't seem right, but I think that's what I saw last week.
Game wardens often set traps around here.
I think I got stuck in a trap. I don't know what it was. Oh, fuck. That should have just one-shot me. Like, how would you really... You don't really want to block like that, but I guess you have to. Or I haven't been able to really loot the stuff I'm killing. They did get me with that bear trap, for sure. Let's see. There's some sort of interesting staff. Inferno staff, ice staff. Is that the same one that I already had? Where is that? Inferno staff. Well, it's just called Inferno staff, though, so I don't know if it's exactly Maple Inferno staff. That should be better, maybe, than either of these. Maybe that is how they'll regulate it, though. You can only use, like, a fire ability with a fire staff, or you wouldn't think that should have anything to do with it, though. Maple Inferno staff. 1025. I think the ice one is still better, though. Or no, they're basically the same. Right, belt. I'm picking up way too much stuff, honestly. Or if there are no cooldowns on potions, then I'll just make my own rule that I can only use like one per encounter or something like that. Why the fuck won't they introduce mana, though, when they are teasing me with this ability? Maybe I just don't understand how it works. Or no, you have to, like... I saw it light up there. What is the restriction on it? I guess I have to look. Okay, you go to here... Lash an enemy dealing 4-1-6-8. If you strike an enemy that is immobile or stunned, you set them off balance. So basically you have to do it in the middle of your rotation or something. Let me actually see. Butterfly. We should have some sort of RP reason for why we don't do that. Like, how freeform is this really? Like, is it sort of auto aim assisting me, or am I just this good at hitting them, or how far will it actually go? Yeah, I'm being so sneaky and subtle that he can't notice that shit going on around him. I always imagine PvP being so badass in games like this, but then people end up basically, you know, not really even liking it or doing it. So it almost feels like, what's the point? You know, co-op player interaction is not always as fun as PvP. Like Path of Exile, I was shocked to hear people say that. Like, wow, it must be so badass and interesting, but is that a player or what is that? Kind of standing there and taking it. What do you have to do? Maybe you have to stop moving and then you can do it, or maybe that's my misunderstanding. It is on some sort of GCD consideration. Or I like how the UI kind of disappears when you're not using it. That was always a good way, you know, your stamina. If your stamina is full, it won't go down or something. What happened? Somebody came out of there. Are these actual players, and why are they actually... Why are there actually so many people here if this is just a very short-lived tutorial thing? Maybe this game is still super active and has an influx of new players, at least. That's always the measure. Like, yeah, nice sneak attack there, dude. I'll have to use my thing here. Yeah, almost playing a melee class might seem boring, but maybe I'm just saying that because, I mean, you can still do it. Like, even as I am now, I'd be a battle mage, but I kind of don't want to. Okay, exit. Keep putting in Magicka. Claim. Magicka again. Okay. Let me look at that again. Or wait, how do you see that particular menu again? E? Yeah. What is my total? Or why does it seem like it's not doing it? Do I have to like confirm it somehow? Bounty. Oh yeah, here we go. Commit points. I must not have done it before. Yeah, there is quite a bit of activity here. Let's make sure there's not like some sort of clown, whatever, proximity voice chat or some dumb thing. If there shouldn't be video subtitles, music, master volume, sound, interface volume, cinematic volume, dialogue. I guess not. Find the key to the Keywright's gallery, but what if I just play this the way you're meant to, which is just to kind of wander around and maybe farm respawns, because this might be the one I already killed, but just from a different angle. That does a decent amount. I mean, you may as well do it because you don't have any... Like, let me try an encounter where I only do that ability, but maybe you can't. Yeah, you're using your staff is not taking up magic, and it doesn't even seem to be taking up anything as far as like the soul shard charge.
The Keywright's gallery is in here. Let's head inside.
Let's see what the other place was then. I need waypoints to tell me where not to go, because I am such a completionist type. Or no, I just said I would try to spam one. It's not like you have to get up to a certain charge level to do it, so I don't really get what is determining. You can do it then, but why? Or you have to do it like only when they're off balance or something? Lava Whip, rank 3. Cast time target 7 meters, 2295. Lash an enemy with flame. You strike an enemy that's immobile or stunned, you set them off balance. But why shouldn't you be able to spam it? There's nothing on there that really seems to indicate that. I mean, I'll say even the core combat is innately more fun than, you know, most MMOs just because of this alone. But then again, I wonder how the abilities really factor in. The problem is they'll probably downplay them. Or maybe not as much now, but originally it might have been more about this over and over. Just like controlling the auto attack, basically. It seems like this sort of homes in a little bit too. In a way that... Now, will it be sort of a shared instance with them? Because I don't really want it to be. Skyshard Vault. What is happening? Like in random mud crab. Where's the epic music like in Oblivion that would play over insignificant stuff like that? Looting enemies doesn't seem as common as it should be. You do not meet the requirements. Okay, fine. Let's see how breath and stuff works. Kill this thing first. Of course, set it on fire in the water. Like throwing a Molotov at one of those bloaters in The Last of Us. It's like the subway before you get to the firefly shit. Not only would it set them on fire, but they would stay on fire, and the ground would stay on fire too for a long period of time. The ground, by which I mean the water. We go through here. Yeah, maybe that's all I'll do is just the tutorial stuff. Let's see how long it actually takes. Talk to her. I do wonder how much, first of all, this is different than it originally was, but also how different is it depending on what faction you choose or what race you choose or whatever else determines it. Maybe this is the same for everybody. Or at least we saw a couple of people out there.
Well, this is upsetting. Jeffers' bones. The surge of magicka created by the portals you came through. It must have cracked this Skyshard. Without a functioning Skyshard, this gate remains locked, and there's no way for us to proceed. Damn.
That's why the game has a mature tag. You can't say stuff like, damn. Is there any way to fix it?
Unless you have a set of enchanting tools and a working knowledge of meteoric empowerment theory, no, there's nothing for it. We need to find a replacement. I saw one in a vault just south of here a few days ago, but it was flanked by one of the island's more powerful golems. Normally, I'd say we should search for another option, but given the circumstances, I think we have to risk it.
All right, let's find it. Can I ask you something before we set out?
Let's not tarry too long, though.
What are Skyshards exactly? What kind of golem did you see near it?
It's a monstrous sentinel called a gargoyle. I've never seen one fight, but by all accounts, they are far more powerful than the golems we've faced thus far. Giant clusters of meteoric glass. They fall from Aetherius, charged with raw and very potent magicka. Mages use sky shards in all kinds of rituals and experiments. We Dureni use them as a power source.
What you have to realize about a game like this and all the writing and stuff is it'll always be like sort of outsourced in a way that like it's not like, you know, they really care that much about the lore or something like that. So it might be good in and of itself, but there's no desire to stay faithful to it, or it's like whatever, right? They're just trying to churn stuff out. So they'll hire like first of all, it's outsourced in the first place. Like, it's not Bethesda themselves doing it, which is understandable. But I mean, just look at Fallout 76, which I've never played that either. Maybe I'll do that next week, but I wouldn't want to spoil
Do you see that vault to the
stuff
south?
to do with that either.
The Skyshard is there.
Oh yeah, of course, the place I just tried to go, you clown. Yeah, there's a sense of that. There's a sense of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a theme park sort of syndrome where it's just window dressing, but then they fill it in with, look at that texture, man. They fill it in with all sorts of generic stuff that could be interchanged in any universe.
There it is, the Skyshard.
Not really like I have much capability here either. Some of this stuff is super fucking tanky though, although she is going to heal you. Now this sort of encounter I don't like because I can't do anything. Oh wait, what is happening when I'm doing that? Is it like a toggle? Why did it seem to keep doing it? Maybe I have to be in closer range to them or something. I don't really get how this ability works, I'll be honest. You have to maybe be close and you can maybe spam it. It seemed like I was holding it down and it kept doing it. Grease, Rawhide Scraps, Foul Hide. What was the last MMO I played? Like Dungeons and Dragons Online. That was actually pretty awesome. Despite some of the antiquated aspects of it because it's so old, but the way they would tell the story there was so engaging. It's like they got like a narrator over your back for every little dinky thing you're doing. Wow, you opened a chest. Our hero is looted 5 gold from it. Like the most mundane shit. Maybe that's just how it starts, but that's still pretty cool. Fire the Skyshard, which is quite dramatic.
Just absorb the energy of that shard. Oh, incredible. Not quite what I intended, but we can work with this. Let's head back to the gate.
Pick it up. What the fuck?
We should hurry back to the gate. We don't have the Skyshard, but we do have a spark of ethereal energy. That's the important bit.
Is that going to turn into like the whole shout mechanic where you're absorbing from those things and you'll get new abilities from them or something? It's actually funny. When I played Skyrim for the first time, I just kind of wandered around so much. So like for a little while, at least several hours, I didn't have shouts or I didn't even know like there were shouts or whatever that mechanic was. Or like I absorbed a couple from word walls, but I didn't know how to unlock it. So I thought, oh, it must be super far in the story that you unlock it. But it was literally like the first couple missions, right? So I just never bothered to unlock the shout dragon mechanic. So I had like a ton of them already in my log to unlock. Because it lets you do that, right? It lets you absorb or maybe it doesn't. No, I think it does. It lets you absorb the words before you're even able to unlock them.
Moment of truth. Focus on the Skyshard aperture. With any luck, it'll respond to the power you absorbed and unlock the gate.
She's just using a telepathic spell. She's not actually yelling across the room.
You did it. Let's speak for a moment.
Now she's going to try to chase my cloud because I did something special.
We've reached the really scary bit. The Daedric creature responsible for all these portals waits just beyond that gate. If you have any other preparations to make them now.
Yeah, let's prepare with our 2 fucking abilities that we have. Or I'm sorry, the 1 ability I have because the other one is just an auto attack. Do you have any advice on how to slay the thing?
Again, I'm just a scholar. But I'd encourage you to remember what we practiced before. Keep moving, strike true, and exploit any opening the creature gives you.
I could use that double tap thing more. It's actually pretty good. Currently antechamber.
There it is. Send it back to oblivion.
Give me might the flashbacks from Dark Souls, dude. Yeah, I prefer if you use spells though. To be so badass actually in PvP. Just the little dashes back and forth and this is a satisfying single player experience already. Like I have to give it that much credit. I don't really want to use the lash ability, but it is what it is. We get to see the health bar twice, presumably, obviously because it's a boss. I mean, I like the fact that she's not moving. Right, so you're even more of a glass cannon than me. Dungeon damage dealer. Fuck. I wonder how much of this you really could solo, or they'll sort of scale it down, right? They'll make it like, they'll make it feel like how accurate do you have to be? If you're like in the vicinity of it, you don't have to be like dead on, basically. Like they'll make it easier based on the number of people who are in there, so it would let you solo stuff, but every game should kind of let you do that, even if you don't get any gear for it, or even if whatever, right? Just for the sake of the story and to hear all the boss quotes and stuff like in WoW. I would always go back and solo old raids that I hadn't done or whatever, like for different expansions that I hadn't played, just because I want to hear all the boss lore and quotes and whatnot, and just see what the dungeon's all about.
You did it. Hopefully the gallery wasn't too badly damaged. Follow me.
You don't have to get anything for it, but you're just going in sort of an exhibitionist way to see whatever is there, which is almost what they did with some of the easier difficulties in raids later, or like 10-man instead of 25-man or whatever. Gallery foyer, that's where we came from. This ability I have confuses me a little bit because let's use Searing Strike. Okay, I forgot to unlock that. Cast time, instant, enemy. You can move these around, right? Instant, enemy, 7. It's just because they're short range, I guess. Slash an enemy with flame, dealing 20, 57 damage, additional 61, 70 over 20 seconds. Enemies hit with the initial effect. Get a burning status effect. Where'd she go? Or now she magically comes behind me. Why can't you pick up all these books though? That's not right. Search your bookshelf. Oh yeah, here we go. We'll read through all these in RP fashion. But what? I can't pick these up? I just have to read them like where they sit? Come on. And what? They're only 1 page long? You can't flip through them? Or they're all like the same book? This is a worse book mechanic than Skyrim.
Look at the central column. I had no idea it was concealing something like this. Let's get a closer look.
Okay, I think we've seen enough of the tutorial. Just let me go out there and do whatever. See what the world is like at the low level. What? Target is out of range. What do you mean it's out of range, dude? Too many of these black screens, though, for every little door. I understand if you're going in or out of a dungeon, but, you know, from one room to the next is kind of abusing that already. Right? Probably we might not have to fight anything. That was kind of already the boss.
But not as I remember it. Now I see why we never managed to unlock the gates. Their power comes from this arcane helix. Amazing. With the helix exposed, these gates can finally reopen. Perhaps not all of them at first, but enough to reach most of Tamriel. The question for you, I suppose, is where to first?
Ah, that's kind of cool. So it lets you choose whatever your starting zone is going to be. You can't open that one. This reminds me of the thing like from Demon Souls, where there's all those different portals in that hub area where you start. So you can't go there with the ships. Can't go to whatever that city is. That looks like, that's literally like Solitude, isn't it? Oh shit. It has to be. There's no way there's another place that looks just like that. Or, you know, the Elder Scrolls series was so good about holding back dragons for so long. How could you make so many different fantasy RPGs like Morrowind and Oblivion and never have a dragon in them? And they finally do it in Skyrim. But now this game, even in the opening cutscene, is going to show dragons like it's no big deal. It sort of diminishes the impact of anything like that. This looks like a nice little town. I almost want to start in somewhere that looks more like just the wilds. Like, yeah, there's like mushrooms and shit around. Let's go there. Or I'm acting like you can just do this, but maybe you have to talk to her first.
Can you believe this? Just look around. With this arcane helix exposed, the chamber is positively crackling with magic. The Keywright's gallery has come to life, and I finally think I know why.
What do you mean? Why did it come to life?
Because of you. Matters in Tamriel are bleak. War rages in Cyrodiil. Daedric princes conspire. Dragons ride the winds of elsewhere. The Second Era needs a savior. I believe the gallery, perhaps even the adamantine tower itself, chose you. The Keywright's gallery opened doors to every corner of Tamriel, places I suspect that desperately need a hero's aid. This choice is yours to make, but wherever you choose to go, I'm sure adventure awaits. May the stars protect you.
Skill line, soul magic, 1 skill point.
So, have you chosen where to go? What region of the world strikes your fancy? Not everyone gets to pass instantly from one side of Tamriel to another, you know. This is quite a gift.
Actually, it kind of breaks my immersion. I don't like to fast travel. Just fucking walk there myself. Do you plan to use one of the doors as well? Do you really think fate had brought me here? Any thoughts on where I should go?
What, me? No, I've got work to do. The Cinderella will want every bit of this place searched and studied. Since I did the discovering, I'll probably end up leading the effort. Adventure abroad sounds all well and good, but my place is here.
Do you really think fate brought me here?
Well, fate's sort of a clumsy way to put it. No offense. Honestly, we may never know why you were chosen, but I believe there was intention here. Something, whether it be the stars, the gallery, or the tower itself, placed you here for a reason. Perhaps it followed you to prevent you from reaching your, well, destiny sounds a bit too grandiose. Let's just say to stop you from reaching your potential. Then again, maybe the power of this place brought you here to stop Shiazel. Probably not, but what's a life without unanswered questions, right? Boring, if you ask me. Ha! An elf can hope. Answering that question will probably keep me occupied for the next 100 years. Is the Helix connected to the Adamantine Tower? How does it perceive distant corners of Tamriel? I may never understand it, but I'll do my best.
Gonna choose the most banal, like, beginner-friendly area, which of course I wouldn't want to go to anyway.
It's a bit overwhelming, isn't it? The whole of Tamriel is stretched out before you. We could start with the political considerations. 3 great alliances vie for control of Cyrodiil. Does the fate of the Pact, Covenant, or Dominion interest you?
Didn't I already choose that, though? I chose, like, a Breton, so that means I should be the... Or I can't even remember now what... I guess that was the only option in the character creation. But why would that... I'd like to travel to Alliance territory. I'd like to go outside the borders of the 3 alliances.
I don't blame you. Interprovincial intrigue is the basis of my whole profession, and even I find it tiresome after a while. I suppose that widens the map a bit. Well, as I said before, threats to Tamriel have grown like weeds practically everywhere. Would you prefer to spend time among my elven kin, the Khajiit of elsewhere, or men of the north and south?
What can you tell me about Elsewhere? What can you tell me? Where can I visit the elves? Tell me about the men, so would that mean Skyrim or somewhere else?
One of these gates appear to go to western Skyrim, a mythical kingdom of Nords led by King Svargrim. The other leads to Blackwood, at the southern tip of Cyrodiil. Imperial remnants rule there.
I don't know what the timeline on this is. Like, where does it take place compared to the other games and things like that? They'd probably make references which would constitute spoilers to a lot of them. Or you would have to extrapolate from here, like where each of the... What portal she's exactly talking about with each of these.
The Nords of
You know what?
Western-
Just because I said I don't even want to potentially, whatever, quote-unquote spoil stuff. Let's just go in that one. Help to review the tutorial. Okay, let's just get out of here. Come on.
This portal leads to Vardenfell. Fascinating, given that the Dark Elves only recently opened it to outsiders. Our spies indicate there might be something wrong with the Dunmer's God King, Vivek. Anything capable of that is a threat to everyone.
Travel to Renfell. Look at the Divine Conundrum storyline.
My Vardenfell, my paradise.
Be wary, traveler. Pilgrims have been attacked on these roads.
At first, I assumed it was the usual house squabbles.
It attacked our camp last night, tore poor Elder's head off, right in front of me. You must hunt it. You must kill it.
Ashlanders once respected each other, helped one another.
These nomadic heretics deny the divinity of the tribunal and have no love for
Lies
Vivek.
upon lies! Does it give them pleasure to invent reasons to bring us harm?
I'm not sure they deserve to be saved, but that's what we have to do.
I don't need you starting a blood feud.
Sometimes the great gear turns from frustration to opportunity.
That was pretty cool how much ground it actually covered there. Boil the whole zone, why don't you? Surrounded by the inner sea, the sprawling volcanic island of Renfell dominate. I'm obviously not saying it right. I kind of... Oh, here we go. This could be like your Morrowind opening where you come off the boat. Yeah, like, I don't want to even deal with the town. Let's just wander around. And if we get killed, then I guess that's the end of the run right there. But I kind of chose that one, too, because it seemed like the least likely to start you, like, in a town. But I guess they're all going to be towns. Killing livestock. If you kill livestock owned by a citizen, crime is witnessed, you will receive a bounty. So it is going to be very true to that aspect. Let's just see what we find out here. Almost like we're playing it like an open world game. Who would have thought? Even though I do that with every MMO, and often you get punished for it because it's like, you know, level restrictions and stuff like that. You'll go find like a level 20 and it'll just one-shot you. But this might be less like that.
Yes,
Hello. What are you doing out in the middle of nowhere? Going for a walk? This one often walks. Around here, I mean. Nervous? Me? Ha! Do not make this one laugh. Hollins here is just horrible. Bandits kicked this one out of his home and stole his crops. Hollins here is just a simple farmer, you see. They will make me a starving pauper.
Help you.
You will help? Oh, bless you. This one planted his crops in a cavern nearby. Saint Sipilu, please, retrieve my notes and poison the water. Without proper irrigation, the plants will wither. It pains me to kill them, but these bandits must not prosper.
That's kind of an extreme that ask. Poison the water is your first response. I'll collect them. Why don't I just kill the bandits?
You are a true hero, Walker. A brave and noble warrior. Falora and I are forever in your debt.
I don't mind even doing stuff like that you find more dynamically, because I went outside the town by 5 steps that I wouldn't accept it within the town because I don't want to talk to every NPC in great detail right now, at least. Let's see how far we can actually go without getting in trouble. Or let me actually test my other ability too, like on 2. This does seem like a very good solo type of experience, though. Not that it would necessarily need to be in terms of, you know, I'm sure the player base would have been better before. Maybe it's even still pretty good, but it has been out for pretty damn long. Who wants a vampire bite? You know, like 9 years is a long fucking time. But again, it's one of those that I almost deliberately avoided. You probably don't want to fuck with that, but actually let's try it. This is exactly the level 20 type shit that I'm talking about, where you're gonna get yourself in trouble. You just spam this shit all day and you'll be fine. 2 seems to do a good amount. Kind of. Yeah, you see you're so close anyway that you may as well do it. Or you'll kind of stagger them with it. But see, there's no reason not to spam. Wait, oh, we went outside of his aggro range, which is not really something that you have to worry about as much in the single player context. This is like some kind of old god shit over here. Nothing really seems to be attacking me though right on the spot. It's more like reactively for now. Of course, things don't even have necessarily levels to them. It's just like, I want to see how much is it really aim assisting me here. Like, as soon as it's highlighted red, it means it's going to you know, obviously hone in at that point, even if you're not like deadlocked onto them. But I wish it was a little more punishing. Like, you really do have to hit them dead on. And of course, some abilities are going to overcorrect for that sort of thing, because it's just like, you know, it's going to be like a fireball that's an AoE ability anyway. But for a lot of things, you would have to be kind of dead on, or the ones that hit more damage, you have to be more accurate and they're more narrow. And the ones that are AoEs do a lot less damage, let's say, which isn't necessarily true in Skyrim at all. But, you know, you start using fireball or incinerate or something, and I guess incinerate has sort of a more narrow range to it though too. It's definitely very spammable, and I like the fact that there's no charge on this, but I'm sure that'll change later as you get like more powerful and rare stuff. So literally I could just play the game like this. We'll explore the whole world and just go around, and that's the whole beauty of the genre, is that you sort of I'm talking about it like it is one of the single player games in the series. Like, you'll still encounter quests and dynamic stuff as you go out. Or I always love the mechanic of like, you find like a note, like you're going out and you kill this stuff and you find like a chest, and then it has a note in there that starts the quest from there. So it's like backwards. You'll go out and adventure and get a quest item, then you turn back into town instead of going from town, go find me this note and then bring it back to me. So like, you're doing a quest backwards by finding it in the wild and then figuring out something from there of what to do with it. So you don't have to go into it with any sort of preconceived notion, but you'll just kind of find it naturally. Check out some of these boats, I guess. I wonder how big the world would actually be, and like, you know, how much you really could get out of it even in playing like this. And as far as I can tell, then there is no sub fee, so I can just play it as much as I want. It's not like I don't have to buy any of the expansions, because I have no interest in doing those yet, at least. I have no, you know, whatever. Like, it is an interesting business model. If that is the case, of course, there are microtransactions in there. I wonder how much that's considered pay to win or something, but claim you have to choose one here. What, this is kind of dumb that it gives you this for levels though. Like, how is it explaining that? Like, I'm just magically conjuring that up just because I feel like it, because I feel so accomplished. That's fine. So when do we get our next ability here? This would be Ardent Flame rank 20. These are just guards or what? Telvanni Mage. Or yeah, we'll get that repeated dialogue. Like, some may call this junk, me, I call them treasure. Like, that gets really old over time. I would almost rather them not say anything than that. This is good just for whatever. Spam your mana as much as you can. It's coming back pretty quickly, so you almost don't even have to worry about it. It's possible they'll drop some super rare blue-green epic type shit, but I don't even care right now to pick it all up. What is this? Tomb Plaque, Take Rubbing. Ancestral Tomb Rubbing. A rubbing containing a clue to help locate the lost library. Yeah, see, this is exactly what I mean. Bring it to somebody in Vivek City, or even better, it'll be a quest that you pick up in the wild that tells you to go somewhere else in the wild. I guess I don't really fear anything I'm coming across. Like, oh, what if this is an elite or like a super high level thing? But I guess it's just not. Like, there's nothing here that's making me feel like at risk. And of course, the aggro ranges are pretty damn short too, for what that's worth. The staff is getting a little bit old for now, but just spamming this is pretty good, I guess. You don't have to be super accurate with that either. Trying to kill that troll. He looks all menacing, but it's really not that big of a deal, or he's doing like that crazy jump onto me. Mage meleeing you down better than you can. He'll do some sort of crazy jump at you. It almost incentivizes me at this point to play in close range, though, because, you know, my two abilities are like within 7 yards or whatever. The mud crab keeps fucking distracting the shit out of me, though. Yeah, they do reset pretty quick, though, all things considered. Maple Restoration Staff. I don't want to use anything related to healing here. I almost want to go back and see what the character creation thing looked like, because let's see how logging out and stuff works. Right, even if I do it in the wild, like, it's still safe, I guess. Go like right here. Let me actually see what other options did I really have, because 7,500 gold. There's too many of these daily rewards and weird stuff that's trying to fucking entice you into keep playing. But I mean, I guess if it's free, right, as far as I can tell at least. So there are microtransactions in the game, and you do have to buy the game outright, and you obviously have to buy the expansions. But I don't see any sign of a sub fee. Deathmatch Weekend. Let me actually see if I wanted to make like another character, what would happen? Create character, delete. You can currently delete 3 characters. Why can't you delete more than that? Why does that matter? They could restrict how many you make, but not how many you delete. Let's see. Almeri Dominion. It's like, what happened after this? What all did I choose? Skip the tutorial. Okay, whatever. This is how I would normally play them, kind of, too. But then again, I'd be super thorough. Like any MMO, I would kind of talk to everybody in town and stuff like that. Sometimes you can reduce your legwork required to complete a quest by using intimidating presence, persuasive will abilities. Oh yeah, that is very fun. Does this have a better speech system than Skyrim? Because it wouldn't take much for it to do that, because that was one bad thing about it, was the speech system. Right? I already invalidated the first person only run that I should have been trying to do, I guess. Kind of a bad starting point, because I already kind of fucked up. You found my weakness just in the water. I'm like an alien from M. Night Shyamalan Signs, am I right? Kind of an underrated movie in a way, because it's hated on for maybe the right reason, like, oh, the aliens aren't that interesting, but it's so good in so many other ways. Like, it's one of the best character studies ever, with Mel Gibson's character and stuff like that. Would you just fucking die? What are you doing, dude? He was at like 1 HP for an hour. Let's get out of there. That was kind of unfair, because it just respawned right when I logged back in, but maybe that wasn't the best place to log out. Yeah, it seems relatively easy at this early stage here. Nice little ambiance here. This is like a Dust Wall of Marsh type of thing. The way you swim there is a little bit weird with like your hands above the water. Oh shit, I'm not even paying attention. I gotta use like my double dash and stuff more. I hate that he does that with the fucking... Yeah, it's not like you're using stamina for anything, so dash as much as you want. Or, you know, you're not using magic for anything. That's one of the most video game logic type things ever. Being able to jump in the water as you're swimming, which is physically impossible. Now that's real magic right there. Do the abilities when he gets close. Use this whenever you can. I'm trying to circle him around just because of the stupid aggro ranges. They seem a little bit more narrow than you might even expect, but that's kind of beneficial in a way. Just the fact that you're able to... that's what was confusing me so much about the spell, just because the range is so tight that it makes it seem like somehow, you know, that you couldn't do them for some other reason. Yeah, nothing has really scared me so far. Even these big things aren't too big of a deal. And even though you arguably should... See, does that mean it's doing more because I'm letting it hold down the whole time? Or does it mean you just let go as soon as you do that? Even if you can, it's not really costing me anything to do this, so I guess it's fine. I do need like one that's actually a long range ability, so I don't have to feel like... Fuck. I don't have to feel like I have to keep getting in close to actually do anything. Camp discovered. Yeah, it's already scolding you and telling you you can't kill chickens or whatever, as if that would be my first instinct upon going into a town. You can select your class when you create your character. I just created a character. It didn't allow me to select a class. It was just one selection. Wait, where? What is even hitting me? I didn't even see you there. I'm not the only one who has the sneak mechanic. I'm just kind of playing it like still face roll, but I mean, I guess at a low level that's probably acceptable. I'm just surprised it's not punishing me a little harder here. I like the way it shows some of these, you know, everything is like a skill shot dodge. Even in single player combat, that's kind of a good thing to have, right? You would expect that in dungeons, but this is just like random stuff around the world. He fell right into my trap. I always wanted him to hit me with his big jump so I could do my melee fucking spells that were spamming the whole time. Yeah, almost like if I play it like this, I wouldn't be missing out on anything. Like, or I wouldn't be worried about the spoiler thing that I'm always paranoid about. This would kind of tell you where the aggro range begins. Or maybe not, though, because you would obviously have a case where... you know, your spell might just not be long enough, or your staff might not go far enough. Always got to circle them around though, like this. Yeah, that's probably my favorite mechanic though, is the whole double tap. Not enough games have that. Make a level 10 poison. What class did you end up with then, Sork? Or I chose like my spec basically, just whatever, whichever one didn't mention healing at all. The other two for some reason did. Yeah, there really aren't classes in the series, so how can you... Or no, some of the older games were kind of more descriptive with that, but you know, it's supposed to be like one of those things where you can just be whatever you want to be, as you, whatever you use is going to determine. I could be using like a two-handed sword right now and just make it happen, but I'm going to be very single-minded with playing like a mage. Oh yeah, let's take a look at the map just to see, like, look at this, dude. So when the game came out, I'm sure not all of this was available, or like even now, right? This probably isn't available either, some parts of the world. Like, this is the most fleshing out of this map as you would ever get, even with all the other games combined. So it's like this game has hijacked the story and the lore. And maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, but a lot of that is going to have an influence on the series. Unfortunately, we've seen that like with WoW, or even the worst crime of WoW is like, if WoW wasn't such a cash cow and such a big whatever, big deal. At the time, they would have made Warcraft 4, right? That would have been a natural continuation of lore. But oh no, it's making so much money that fuck it, we'll just stick to that and not do anything else. We'll make Hearthstone instead, which obviously was good, but still, it's like, it just kind of ruins everything. Like, if this game had been successful enough, maybe they wouldn't have even made Elder Scrolls 6 at all. And I know that seems hard to believe, but you know, even though it's not their own development that they're doing, or it would cause it to be delayed at the very least. Like, look at GTA 6. It's not that they wouldn't make GTA 6, but they didn't feel the need to make single player DLC for GTA 5 the way that they made so many amazing ones for like The Lost and the Damned and Ballad of Gay Tony for GTA 4. They didn't make that, and they focused on online so much. And then on top of that, they also decided to take so long to make Part 6. Right, so it sort of disincentivizes it a bit. I guess this is a little bit different because it's not made directly by Bethesda, but still. I wonder what the exact split of what they make from it is with ZeniMax and all this shit, but you know, clearly the IP is very valuable. But that's always the implication that you sometimes feel is like, this game's, you know, a certain game you're playing might not be that good, but you're only playing it because it has the name on it, right? Like, there could be a game that's exactly like this gameplay-wise, but because it's not called Elder Scrolls, you won't even consider it. It is at least a different combat system than I'm used to in most MMOs. In particular, I like the lack of auto-attack vibe to it, just the fact that, you know, you're manually doing that, but in a way that's kind of a bad thing, so it depends how much that really manifests. This is kind of a bad idea to do this encounter. Let's see how running away works. It doesn't seem to be that hard because you generally are sort of resetting them anyway. What? Yeah, when you want to reset them, though, you can't. Like, what the fuck? He was kind of confused whether he really wants to reset or not. Can't really see your feet here, though. Yeah, your hands are actually above the water there. That looks a little bit weird. Game has had 9 years to correct that visual bug. Do this, do this. Not really worrying about blocking too much. Everything does seem like a little bit tanky, but maybe I'm not meant to be doing it like this, or maybe that is just how it's supposed to feel. Make every encounter feel meaningful. The Dark Souls way. Oh shit, now we got two at once, but at least it's like one after the other, or he's confused. I don't even know where I'm going. Did I end up at the same town, or is this a different town? But this guy sent me to like yeah, nice barricade by not letting me swim up there, but does this mean they're going to be enemies or what? Trespassing, you've entered the trespassing area and gain maximum heat. Guards who spot you will attempt to kill you unless you leave the trespassing area. You gain a bounty, but why is it restricted like that? Is that like just a town or what? I don't know if that's like supposed to be an enemy outpost that works like that, or if it's actually like I need to hire a rep, or I have to do something to unlock it first somehow. I don't know if that's just a critter. It's not even meant for you to fight it. Or this is kind of bad too, because I don't really need healing. Look at the two-man game. Name a better duo. Me and that chick in the intro, I guess. So when do I get my next ability here? I guess it would be rank 20, Ardent Flame. That feels more just like your spec, though, really, than anything else. Tong Cutthroat. Kimona Tong Cutthroat. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. Roll off the throat, I guess you could say. Look at that sexy roll, which I assume is what it would look like when I'm doing it, too. But I'm trying to play in first person as much as I can. Whoops. I keep trying to hit Alt to sprint, and I keep trying to hit Tab to whatever. Can't seem to loot these sometimes. Oh, you can turn pages, but yeah, it seems kind of weird that you can't pick these up. right? I want to make a whole library in my house, assuming there's a housing system, which there should be. I mean, even if Tibia has that or some shit, so many other games do. Oh, Herser, these don't really have a ton of HP compared to some of the stuff out there. So that part I don't mind. Hold right click and hit left click. Oh shit, why is stuff coming from behind me though? It almost seems like a kind of game where friendly fire would be a good thing, and it kind of makes sense because, you know, because it's skill shot, that would be another consideration to have to account for. Even with like all these AoEs and stuff, it might be too hectic, but there could almost be like some sort of hardcore mode or server that makes that a factor. What is this? Somebody we had to rescue maybe from there?
Down and come here.
So where are we actually in terms of this? We are on the very coast of the entire world, which depending where you started, that might be hard to do. But like, shouldn't wait, where? Oh no, I'm just looking at the one continent here. So where actually is Skyrim in this Western Skyrim? Oh, so they didn't even unlock the whole of Skyrim, or maybe I don't know. I'm assuming these are the places. Oh no, maybe those are going to be unlocked with expansions that obviously exist now. But maybe this is what it looked like originally. So there were. But this is still a lot of shit that they filled in. How could it be this big? Durzog. Oh, that's just the same. No, it's not the same. It's very easy to kite with that little double dash thing, which I assume everybody would have. It's not like that's a class ability. I kind of like the hands-on aiming, but I don't like how much it seems to aim assist you. It really should be a little more punishing than that. Like, you have to be like very precise, which is not entirely the case. Or of course, they're accounting for console considerations that way too. We kind of line of sight the one clown, but he comes through here anyway. Yeah, find somebody who would play a game more slow-paced than me, and that's why as much as I like MMOs, it's hard for me to even play them because I take my time so much. Or the whole beauty of beating the experience would be just like, you know, just the ability to get to max level without dying. That would be my, you know, first playthrough permadeath sort of thing, or whatever. Just get to max level, period. If for other people, forget about even doing raids or anything else. Which I hate how people lead with that, right? I have nothing against that kind of stuff. I've done that in the past with some games at least, but it's more like, you know, you shouldn't lead by saying, oh, just get to max level and just do raids. That's the real game. That's the point of the game. If it is, then I would rather just skip playing the game because I want to see all the world and all the little things and appreciate the story and lore, whatever. Like, if you wish to appreciate the great mystery, you must study all its aspects, not just a dogmatic narrow view of whatever try-hard zoomer clowns who just want to give us an item that, you know, teleports us to max level or whatever. Like in Destiny, they give you that orb, right? It gets you to level 40 automatically just for buying the game or making an account. Like, why would you want to do that the first time playing? It's just such a weird idea. Like, yeah, buy a single player game and just get to the end and just beat it. Wow, fun. Like, okay, just use a cheat, hack. Press K, you can tell your class by the skills. Class, Ardent Flame, Draconic Power, Earthen Heart, Dragon Knight, Initiate, Skills Advisor, Advised Abilities. But you can't even choose. What do you mean? Fight Armor, Stone Fist, Dark Talent. Oh, it wants me to be like the other class. Or the other spec, I guess. Yeah, this is not maybe usually how I've been doing MMOs here, but I guess it kind of is, though. Sometimes I'll kind of wander around. But I would at least give like an opening town a chance or something. I mean, this is entertaining in and of itself. I wonder how much depth we're really going to get, though, later on. Because it only has, this is a good indication, it only has 5 abilities on the hotbar here, and an R. Like, what is this? Are we playing League of Legends? Or are we playing Smite or something? Like, where you have your 4 abilities and an alt? Like, where are the 10 taskbars that we're talking about? The 10 hotbars with 50 abilities and all this kind of crazy crap. What, because consoles don't have enough buttons for that, and this game was made with consoles in mind? Is that what it is, or what, dude? You got a trigger for each hand, and that's enough for you? So that aspect might be bad about it. Not saying quantity of abilities is always better, but it's obviously something worth considering. Like, just the potential to have that is always a good measure of a game. Like, it's just a net positive to have it. I don't even know where I'm going or what I'm doing, but that's the whole beauty of it. Just let the game dictate it to you. Although I probably should do the objectives that, you know, you come upon. Like, I came upon that one dude who's like, keep your head down. We just met and you're already trying to tell me what to do, though. I don't know what the other guy is. Thankfully, we haven't encountered anything that's like way higher leveled or crazy that's gonna like one-shot me, though. And the aggro ranges seem pretty generous, like both in terms of how quickly they reset, but also in terms of, you know, initiating the fight with them. Like, they don't seem to really be drawn to you too much. What the fuck is all this shit, dude? It's not like really something hitting me. It's just like a critter. Broom beetle. We have Zanger Marsh at home. Zanger Marsh at home. This area, but basically better, kind of. I certainly didn't like grow up playing the Elder Scrolls series or anything like that, but obviously I've gained a tremendous amount of respect for it. And like, again, because of how slow-paced I play the game, I've never beaten any of them, but I played them all for a good amount of time. Or I guess I've never played like the original or whatever, Arena technically, or Daggerfall. Now Daggerfall had some interesting idea behind it, like it sort of randomly generates stuff, I think. So it almost is like has an infinite amount of content because it'll kind of keep generating stuff in. I don't know exactly how that works or whatever, but like modern roguelike mechanics almost. And then Morrowind and stuff didn't really have that, but obviously they're all pretty big. And the dynamic events and random stuff that happen as you're just exploring the world is such a strength of them. Fallout 3, like that is the greatest testament actually of how good a game is, that you can play it for long periods of time and not only don't you beat it, or you don't have to beat it, you don't feel the need to do it, but you also don't even want to do it. That's the thing, right? That's what makes it so good, is that all the Bethesda games are like that, is that like I've never beaten any of them and I wouldn't even necessarily feel the need to, and yet you still enjoy them and you look forward to playing them again, and you could almost play them forever, it feels like. And that's even without modding or anything. He's got a fucking pocket mud crab every time. They are pretty tanky, though. All I want is like an actual ranged spell ability, which I guess the auto attack makes up for that a little bit, but I mean, not the best. Or you just need like a better staff overall. Almost makes it seem like he's gonna jump where that red thing is, but it's actually just the mud crab itself that he's throwing at you. I guess I maybe didn't realize the first time I fought them. I thought he was just like, it just happened to aggro in the vicinity of him. So this is maybe more free roam potential, at least than most games, because, you know, normally you would be caught up by level zones or something, you know, level barriers and stuff like that. You would just kind of feel like you can only go but so far. And even as I say that, I'm probably going to run into one. Like, let's see, how much ground have I actually covered? We started like, we discovered that. So we've gone from like one end to the other vertically, right from when we started, in a pretty reasonable amount of time. I was kind of disappointed my first time playing Skyrim, like looking at the map, and like in like 10-20 minutes I go, or whatever, in like a short period of time I run from like whatever, where you start, like Riverwood to, or no, like where you start to Riverwood, whatever, and like, oh, I covered this amount of distance on the map and this is the whole game. So like I go from here to here and it's like, oh, that only took 5 minutes, so the map's not actually that big, which in retrospect it's really not that big, but the way it sort of cycles through content and sort of puts these dynamic, what's it called? Like the Radiant quest system, it'll keep sending you to different places that you haven't been, or like places you haven't been in a while. So the way it sort of cycles through that is actually very impressive. That's why I like doing like the College of Winterhold stuff over and over, like the book quest. He'll send you to somewhere you haven't been in a while or something, and it'll give you like something moderately challenging to do, appropriate for your level. It'll scale up and stuff. So it makes use of all the content at all times, that you never know where it might send you or what it's going to do. Oh, are you fucking serious? This is at least one thing you wouldn't normally have to worry about. Where are the infinite aggro ranges when you need them, like in Guild Wars or something, or EverQuest, right? That's something that would actually be good here. That's kind of immersion breaking, how they just kind of reset and full heal, which is a very common MMO mechanic, of course, but still. Let them get close and finish them off with that. Use your little double tab. Why did he take so much damage there in the middle? Runestone collect. What is happening? Okama and Ta. Enchanting. Not really going to dick around with professions and stuff much. Or I like that in EVE Online. Like, let's see how the economy system in this game works. Meanwhile, I just spend the whole time going spaceship goes pew pew and fucking actually doing combat stuff. Even, you know, I was kind of stunned that that game actually has auto attacking though. First of all, and even in its original iteration, I always imagined you were actually shooting manually and stuff. But also, in the context of the modern version of the game, like, you would think they would have updated that to make it more hands-on. So that was kind of surprising to see. The real reason why originally auto-attacking was such a big thing in MMOs was because of latency and stuff, right? Because it would kind of auto-correct for stuff like that all around the world, but why are there two of these so close together? Why do you always have to do everything like twice? Like when you go to open the doors, you do it once and it doesn't do anything. Now I've had to do it 3 times. Or it's just not even working. Okay, let's just spam these, empty your mana out, which you should make a point to try to do, because it's not like I have anything else to do with that. I'm not going to fucking heal or something. Yeah, see, you barely even notice that you're leveling or anything about experience, because you just don't really care. You're kind of just, you know, soaking in the experience. So that's the one great strength of the series, which translates to this game pretty well, too. You're just kind of doing whatever and let the adventure sort of come to you. You would think he could just fly away if he's in danger, but I guess he has the sense of honor not to do that. That is like the greatest praise you can give a game. It's like when you're not trying to do anything in particular, you're not trying to beat it, you're not even trying to do an objective, you're just trying to play it, just for the sake of it. Whatever happens, happens. Which, of course, I'm more conducive to do that anyway. Like, even in games that are very structured and story-based or linear or whatever, I'll still sometimes play it in sort of a wandering way. But, I mean, yeah, I would get to max level just like by doing this, which I don't even know what the max level is, but, you know. You do kind of need just, like, one long-range ability, or maybe I should use a fucking bow trying to make up for that, but I don't even feel the need. The way the staves have worked so far, staves, is just like, unless you require some sort of soul gem recharge, then I wouldn't even have to worry about it. I could just keep spamming it forever. So either I want a better one in terms of damage, or I want one that shows me that mechanic of, like, would these even aggro if I get close? I guess some of them do, but it always feels like I'm initiating the fight, basically. I can never tell whether if you hold it down all the way till it auto shoots, if that does more. It doesn't really seem to do much more anyway. Yeah, if I made like a little mini series out of this game, I would get to max level here first, and then I could obviously try the expansions and stuff too. I wonder how much it would let you solo dungeons though, and not in a sense like, oh, you have to have like twinked out gear or something like that, but I'm kind of intrigued by how people are playing Hardcore Classic now with the server, because it's like they're doing a lot of like multiplayer stuff, which almost trivializes the whole thing. Like, oh yeah, let's do permadeath raids or permadeath dungeons. It's like it loses all meaning, because it's like I don't know, the group dynamic makes it kind of dumb. Like somebody will fuck you over and get you killed, whether they're griefing you or trying to do it on purpose, or whether they're actually, you know, they're just bad. You're not really in control of it, so what does it matter? Says the guy who's about to fucking play Paladin's Permadeath Gauntlet after this, but I guess even that's a little bit different, but it's just not something I think of with that. It could be kind of cool though, like try to 100% that, like do every dungeon and every raid without dying. But again, that would mean that the whole group, no, that could be cool though. Like you're doing a raid boss and you wipe, or no, you do a raid boss, but some people die and then they don't come back. Imagine how stupid that would be though, because you're trying to progress every week, get better gear. So like, oh wow, we have a full 40-man group that's ready to do Nax 40, and then one person dies on an attempt or something and everybody else gets away somehow, and it's like, you know, you save yourselves. But the problem with that is that basically now you'll have to find somebody else to replace them with also really good, equally capable gear, which doesn't make sense because now that'll take weeks more. I don't see how you would really do that. It's so stupid. The group aspect really does trivialize it, I guess, a lot. This looks like a little dungeon thing or like a shrine. This looks like a very dangerous fall that I shouldn't do. Yeah, like how much would you be able to do this? You should be able to do it. Or maybe you can attack me from a distance, or maybe I'm literally just exploiting the game. You'll just stand there and take it. That's kind of busted. I could kill like some sort of elite thing that you're not meant to kill or whatever. That's kind of like a bug testing moment. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. He should reset or he should evade or something, no? I guess that's just it. That's a colorized version of Anakin versus Obi-Wan. I have the high ground. Kill the stupid mud crab. Mud crabs everywhere. It doesn't matter what fucking part of Tamriel you're on. Yeah, this is an interesting place to start, I guess.
What do you want?
There doesn't seem to be any real restriction on what you can do, though. Like, let's maybe try to get out of this zone. Oh, well, I guess it'll take me too long now. I was like, or you can't really even do it very well here. You would have to, like, swim across or something. Yeah, everything's sort of going to scale to you or something in some way, which is always a little bit tricky in MMOs because, you know, we're seeing that like in Destiny where a level 40 is fighting something and I'm fighting it at the same time, but for them it's doing way more damage than it is to me. Like, how does it really... That feels kind of like a contrived mechanic. Right, it'll scale to your level, but even the same enemy that you're fighting at the same time with two different people of vastly different levels. Lava Whip can now be morphed. What does that mean, morphed? Oh, here we go. That's kind of cool. Molten Whip 1. Whichever one has a longer range, but I guess none of them do. How did I fucking pick this class that has all close range abilities? 7 magic. Slash an enemy doing 4-2-2-6. If you strike an enemy that's immobile or stunned, you bring them off balance. Whenever you activate an ability, different Ardent Flame ability, you gain a stack of Seething Fury. Okay. If you strike an enemy that's immobile, target an off balance immobilized enemy charges. They don't really seem particularly notable with the differences. Like, cost 1. Wait, it costs stamina though. You don't want to be using stamina for abilities. What am I, a warrior or something? So I guess it is restricting you to play a class a little bit though. Wait, 1542. Is that his level? Is this like Tibia where there is no max level or something? Hold to interact. Huh. That would be interesting actually. Although again, I don't know how that would work in terms of dungeons and stuff like that. Or these things should just be immune to fire or resistant to it, but it almost doesn't seem like that's the case. Hive Golem. Or, oh, he's going to keep putting down that shit as we... Oh, fuck. That could be problematic. Really, that's the best ability you're going to have, though? You look so burly and big and strong, and you're just throwing fucking wasps at me the whole time that don't even seem to stay alive. You're playing to my advantage that you're staying at a range, dude. I guess you could say I'm in my element, and not just because he's fire, but that should actually hurt me. I love how spammable this is, though. There should always be some sort of soul charge on it. Or now he finally realizes that it wasn't working, what he's doing. Just don't reset the stupid aggro range here. Yeah, I like how you can just literally cheese something from up top a cliff if you're just far enough away, and I'm surprised that actually works. It does seem like the mud crab's aggro, so I'm not just picking on them for no good reason either. Where did we end up now? I don't like to use the map, and I don't like to use fast travel and stuff like that generally. Not saying I would never use it, but just whatever. Use a little line of sight here, trick him around. Yeah, whatever. Butcher with a fucking dagger, though. How much does it really lock on? Like, you should be able to avoid stuff like this. He shot, like, up in the air. Light armor increased to 7. Okay. It doesn't seem to have as a dynamic of a skill tree, though, as I expected with all of those things. Like, when can I put points into lockpicking instead of putting it into destruction or something like that? It does seem to still be more class-oriented somehow. Now, this shouldn't be a hostile area, right? Like, where I'm trespassing. Got nothing to say. What is this thing over here? Fire breather. Doesn't really seem to punish you, though, if you're using the same ability that they are. But this is like too many things to fight at once. I don't feel good about this. This might not be that bad, but... Full circle strafing is pretty nice. Might not really be functionally doing too much, but it's okay. I mean, it's not that I expect the low-level stuff to be that hard, but it feels like maybe two-face roll, or maybe it's something that's been streamlined and made easier over time, which is maybe what people were saying or how I felt about Star Wars: The Old Republic. Like, it might have been easy at a low level, but it felt like a little bit too fast-paced and stuff. Ender. Oh, that could be a problem if you're healing a little bit too much, but maybe not. Yeah, just focus on fucking damage spell. Average mobile player or whatever, like Overwatch and Paladins and stuff player, where you'd rather fucking shoot your gun with mercy than actually heal people. Like, what is clearly the priority right now? I wanted to see like a constellation skill tree type thing, though. So how do we see that? We go to C. We have to claim this over here, which is a little bit weird that... I don't like how you get gear from that, though. And I don't like the arbitrary amounts of magicka and health and everything that you get that seem to have nothing to do with anything. Like, you know, you just start with like 20k, like why? So random. Or you know what it doesn't show that it probably should is the exact health amounts and stuff that of course Skyrim itself and whatnot wouldn't show. Right, but that should have been an option at least if you want to really theory craft and test how much you're doing sometimes and stuff. I am taking quite a bit. Maybe I should reset and come back. Of course, I'm a master of single-player dungeon type experiences. Like, as you saw... What is all this? As you saw in, like, Albion... What the fuck? As you saw in Albion Online, like, where I did that. And then I die at the last fucking second when I'm about to beat that boss. Oh, fuck. We cannot die in such a short episode of a game like this, where I'm even saying the combat is so easy in a lot of ways. Fucking serious. You just run away from one encounter right into another. Just ghost, generic ghost. Like, give me more detail. Ghost of what and why? Give me some flavor, dude. Yeah, no single enemy has really caught me too off guard or seemed too crazy. You might think, oh, it's the starting zone, but it seems like you could just go anywhere too and keep doing this. Maybe everything really will scale down to you, so you never have to worry. But even in Skyrim and stuff, there was always some sort of a mix with that. Like, you know, you could encounter a saber cat at level 1 and it would still like one-shot you because you weren't meant to be fighting that yet. So there are still level restriction moments like that, even if it doesn't explicitly say it, or even if the enemies don't really have levels stated to you. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. Kind of wanted to at least get a long-range spell ability. And this is the point too. You might say you shouldn't recommend anyone or say that anyone should play it like this, but at least the fact that you can is a good thing, right? You should be able to play, as I always do, obviously, just in like a wandering sense. And it seems maybe less punishing of that than almost any MMO ever, because I have just kind of wandered around the whole time. But of course, I'm just so good that clearly I would never die no matter what anyway. Searing Strike can now be morphed. What is that, like an NPC? This dude wants to be like Rexar over here. The fact that their health bars show up in that same red almost makes you think they're hostile too. Let's go here. Morph it. Venomous Claw. Rake an enemy. I don't want it to be poison though. Burning Embers. Poison seeps in target, dealing 7%. I mean, these combat encounters are going so fast that I wouldn't even really care about that. Like trying to do a damage over time build in fucking Pokemon, right? You just spam the A button and it's dead before you know it. And I even did that in Pokemon Y, though. I was trying to make like a poison seed, some kind of damage over time type build with a lot of insects and stuff. But obviously that ended up not really being that useful. Or maybe towards the end of the game it wasn't so bad, but certainly in the beginning it feels totally redundant. You put the poison on them and they're already dead by the time it takes like once. I'm always late to the party with stuff like this, but again, how could you possibly play like every MMO out there at once? That's what I find hilarious, right? Like, oh, if you like a game, just play it. But then it's like, first of all, how time consuming any one of these games are, but like, oh, play WoW and play this and play New World and play, you know, everything all at once. That's why you either pick one or you just don't even worry about it. But that is always the anxiety inducing thing that I hate, is like, looks like an NPC that's going to teach me how to fish or something. You know, it would feel kind of like it would be a situation where, you know, you sort of feel like they're going to go offline at some point or lose support or get ruined or at least changed by updates and expansion, and then you can't play the classical version. Not even in a nostalgia sense, like, oh, the classic version's better. You might have never played the game at all, so you just want to see what it was like, right? You just want to try different versions of the game. So you would never have to qualify that in any other sense. Just because it's online, people make all these bonehead arguments like, oh, you know, just play the newer version, it's better, or stuff like that. But it's like, again, go play Ocarina of Time for the first time, and nobody would say, oh, go play Breath of the Wild, it's better. Maybe it is better, and you can play both, but the point is, maybe you want to play them in order. Maybe you just want to see what it was like and what all the fuss and hype was about with it, right? Like, to just go get a copy of it. But you wouldn't be able to do that with an MMO in most cases, because unless they release classic servers, basically they have a shelf life in a way that's very annoying. I feel kind of bad for being able to do so much damage to these with fire abilities. That almost doesn't feel right. Doesn't even seem like a big deal when he puts those down, though. Like, what's it really going to do to me? That's just like me standing still. Theatricality and deception are powerful agents. Of course, there's always this bias towards like caster and ranged characters that makes almost every game easier no matter what. You don't have to expose yourself to the brunt of combat most of the time. Although a lot of these enemies, maybe more than I would expect, are fighting you from a range. Some games aren't even tuned properly, like a Dark Souls type game is like most of the enemies don't try to attack you from a range anyway. So if you are a ranged character, you don't even have to worry about it, right? Like, you're just fighting them from halfway across the room and they're trying to hit you in melee range. There's nothing you even have to do, or you don't have to put yourself at risk to try to hit them. Where the heck did we end up here anyway? We basically went from the bottom here up to here and over to here, just sort of randomly too. Although I'm sort of sweeping the coast. I'm doing like my way of water strategy. that I would always do in Skyrim, for example, just to, you're always going to be safer because you know that nothing's going to be behind you unless it literally, you know, comes like out of the water. What other game was I saying that in recently that I was just playing? I guess it's something I do in a lot. Really, yeah, like Ark even tells you that too. It's always safer by the beach, by the water. And there's face rolls, spam everything for now. But the fact that you only have 5 ability slots is kind of weird, right? I'm sure there are other taskbars and stuff you can use, but again, they don't want to make the console community feel left out, so they'll even try to say, oh, 5 is enough. Like, I don't know how you can really justify that. There's always these dumb considerations that are done for console, but it's almost necessary to do. Like, you know, in Dishonored, if you open the skill bar or whatever to choose your ability that you're going to use, it'll pause the game. But it doesn't do that on PC because you can just switch them. You can still open the weapon wheel or whatever, but you just have to do it in real time. Or the fact that auto aim is even an option, like, you know, GTA 4, GTA 5, you can't use auto aim on PC because you have a mouse, so just do it yourself. But on console, it'll either force you to use it, or at least you'll have the option to use it, and then you almost feel bad for not using it because you're almost meant to. Oh shit, where did I land up here? I better just get out of here probably. Yeah, you're gonna be fighting from inside. Wonder how far I could go out here. Hopefully there won't be anything in the water that is going to attack me as well. Could be a very bad decision. Or how do you even dive? Well, don't tell me you can't even dive. That'd make it less fun to be like an Argonian or something with like infinite breath capability. Maybe I just don't know how to do it. Trying to cool off from the Atronach's fire on me too. The perfect escape. Seems like it's maybe stuttering a little bit on stream, but for me it's not. Yeah, and once again, I'm getting away with using fire abilities on them. Or yeah, like being a range class is one thing kind of a cheese that benefits you, but also fucking, you know, being a summoner class or a class with a pet that you can let it tank everything for you and stuff like that. That looks like quite the area though with the with all the Atronachs. Be like a little mini dungeon experience. Maybe I should do that. Yeah, this is kind of the base experience that I wanted from it. Just like wander around and just do stuff, and it's pretty fun. I wonder if there is a player housing system though. There almost should be. Imagine if I died of fucking fall damage of all things. Yeah, it gives off a very good vibe and effort that they tried to give a good solo experience to it. Right, like this is in itself fun. You don't even need anything else. Okay, this was meant to be sort of a short session, and I tried to avoid the lore and stuff as much as I could to for whatever it may or may not spoil for me, as much as I'm anal about that in a series that I've played a lot already, but still not to my satisfaction. There'll be like one little story element though that it spoils that I didn't know, that I would rather have discovered from the game itself. We got to level 5. Again, I don't even know what the max level is and stuff. Or maybe there is a fucking premium and I'm not even acknowledging it. Yeah, I'm curious about that. Let's actually see. What is the business model? ESO subscription. It's not required. ESO Plus member unlock VIP perks. Let's see what it does. DLC game packs. Purchase DLC game packs. Full access to all DLC game packs. But the problem with that is you'd probably have to stay subscribed for a long period of time. Or like anytime you want to play it. So rather than buying them... no crafting storage bonus or unlimited storage crafting materials, 1650 crowns per month for mounts, pets, and more. Extra bank space, double bank space for your account, more gold, and I mean, so this is sort of like a pay-to-win aspect. Not that it's 10% increase to gold and yeah, like what the fuck, man? Why do you have to do all this shit? It's one thing just to have cosmetics, but 10% increase in crafting inspiration and trait research rates. More furniture space, double furnishing, collectibles. It spoils, I guess, that we have player housing. Exclusive ability to dye costumes. Yeah, which of these things are actually pay-to-win stuff? Access to DLC isn't, because, okay, you can buy that. But unlimited storage, that's kind of a big deal. double bank space, 10% golden experience. Like, these are all bullshit things. 10% increase to crafting and research rates. So it is what, like 15 a month to do that, which is kind of stupid. Exclusive progression bonuses. That is really dumb. Yeah, like how many expansions has it had too? Elder Scrolls Online expansions. They have had a total of having 2.5 million active players in 2017. I guess that's not bad, but I wonder what it is now. So they had Morrowind, Somerset, Elsewhere, Greymoor, Blackwood, High Isle, and Necrom. So like, let's look at the rate. So it came out in 2014. So it took them 3 years to release an expansion. So 2017 was Morrowind, 2018 was Somerset, 2019 was Elsewhere. That's weird. It came out in 2014, and then once they started releasing expansions, they started doing it like every year. January 2017, then March 2018, January 2019, then 2020 is Greymoor, 2021 is Blackwood, 2022 is High Isle, 2023. That's interesting what they did for the first 3 years. I'm sure there were a lot of updates and stuff they were doing, but or maybe the original game was just that substantial. Not even saying 2 to 3 years is that long to wait for an expansion. You know, that might be pretty normal for some games, but somehow they didn't, you know, the rate that they've released them at now is kind of crazy. The section needs to be updated. Elder Scrolls Online is no longer starts in Cold Harbor, but rather the Isle of Balfouria. Section needs to be rewritten December 2022, and nobody's still done it. Almost like a year later. What the fuck? So what is Cold Harbor now? That's what I missed out on. I guess that answers one of my questions. Yeah, I hate changes like that. Like, just let me see what it was like before.